إن الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله حق تقاته ولا تموتن إلا وأنتم مسلمون يا أيها الناس اتقوا ربكم الذي خلقكم من نفس واحدة وخلق منها زوجها وبث منهما رجالا كثيرا ونساء واتقوا الله الذي تساءلون به والأرحام إن الله كان عليكم رقيبا يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله وقولوا قولا سديدا يصلح لكم أعمالكم ويغفر لكم ذنوبكم ومن يطع الله ورسوله فقد فاز فوزا عظيما فإن أصدق الحديث كتاب الله وخير الهدي هدي محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم وشر الأمور محدثاتها وكل محدثة بدعة وكل بدعة ضلالة وكل ضلالة في النار. Before I commence, my brothers, can I ask you all to move forward? Squeeze forward, please, and now the brothers at the back here to come inside. Jazakumullah khair. All of you from the front to the back, move forward. Also, there is space upstairs in the school if we fill up down here. My dear respected brothers and sisters in Islam, we witnessed earlier this week a media rampage against this Islamic Center and specifically against me also, personally. This, my brothers and sisters, was not an attack on the Islamic Center alone, or on me alone. But rather, this is a smear campaign against all balanced Muslims, all those that call for unity, that call for integration with the wider community. It is a slur, a campaign to bring down the true flag bearers of Islam. So by that, each and every one of us should give our ears to what is about to be read out to you. The exposing of the lies, the fabrication, the exposing of people's views about us. Before I commence, I know my words will reach also the non-Muslims, the Jews and the Christians that we reside amongst also. And to them I say what Allah Jalla wa Ala said in the Quran. قُلْ يَا أَهْلَ الْكِتَابِ لَسْتُمْ عَلَى شَيْءٍ حَتَّى تُقِيمُوا التَّوْرَاةَ وَالْإِنْجِيلَ وَمَا أُنزِلَ إِلَيْكُمْ مِنْ رَبِّكُمْ. O you people of the book, the Jews and the Christians, you are not going to be upon anything of good until you establish yourselves what is in your books, the Torah, what is in your books of the Bible, and what has been revealed to you from your Lord. And I also give this message to the Muslims, those who are present today, and those also who will listen to this in time to come. Allah Jalla wa Ala, He said, وَكَذَلِكَ جَعَلْنَاكُمْ أُمَّةً وَسَطًا. As such, we have made you, O Muslims, a balanced nation. We do not go to extremes of hatred and discord and dislike and enmity. And neither do we go to neglecting the rules of our religion, the teachings of our deen. We do not compromise what we know to be correct. for that which is incorrect and falsehood. Allah Jalla wa Ala said also to you Muslims, Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu kunu qawwamina bil qisti shuhada'a lillah walau ala anfusikum aw al walidayn aw al aqrabin, which means, O you who believe in Allah and His Messenger and the last day, be or stand up firmly for justice, for the truth. Be witnesses for Allah, even if it be against your own selves. Even if we are wrong, we say we are wrong. Even if it be against your own parents or your own family, we say they are wrong. And we will not follow that which is wrong. So Islam teaches us that we must be just to ourselves, to others, our family members, to even our enemies, to those who we live with in a wider society. We are not allowed to be treacherous and cheat and lie. So from the claims of the media we saw this week was that they claimed that Khalid Masood was radicalized here in this Islamic center. That his name and his contact details were placed on a sticker and placed on a leaflet in our rack outside on the front. They deduced from this sticker of Khalid Masood's name that the Masjid, Islamic Center, Masjid al-Ghuraba, was the place where he was learning his Islam from, was a place where he preached Islam, and where he was the link man between the Masjid's website and the masses of people. This is what they said in their article. That he was the link man for the Islamic Center, for the Call to Islam website, and the general public. They deduce this from where? From what they claim of a leaflet with his sticker on it, with his name on it. Despite our efforts to clarify to them that this is a fabrication, it had no common sense in it. It opposes all facts that we know. But we know that the media persisted in this in order to defame a place of worship, in order to make look ugly and derogatory al-Islam and the Muslims. They wanted our masjid to look as if it is an extremist masjid, and that the attendees here are those who follow an extremist form of al-Islam, a violent form of al-Islam. They also clearly intended by this action of theirs to feed the fuel of hatred and religious intolerance. They want to bring the right wing against the Muslims. They want to fuel hatred amongst non-Muslims against us. We explained to them, my brothers, that Khalid Masood did not pray here. He did not attend this masjid, neither did he teach here, nor did he learn from here. He left Luton in 2012, never to return. How could a leaflet with his name and his phone number remain on our racks outside for 5 years and nobody see it? It's ludicrous, ridiculous to say the least. As if we do not clean our racks, we don't change the leaflets. My brothers, we're in 2017. He left Luton in 2012 and moved to Birmingham after the events of the 22nd of March. After murderous acts, we did 4 very important things. I instructed firstly that the website of Islamic Center should be taken down. It was taken down. Why did we do that? Because we had previous experience where hackers hacked into our website and brought it down, and it took us ages and a lot of money to get it back up again. So we took it down, deactivated it ourselves. Second thing, being proactive. I instructed that every single leaflet that we have against extremism, and you all know we have plenty of leaflets against extremism, that they be put on the rack. This was the day the act happened on the 22nd. So the leaflet rack was changed. All the new leaflets were put on there. Thirdly, I instructed that a banner be created showing that we are free from extremism and violence and hatred, and the banner was placed on the front of our mosque. And fourthly, 2 days after the incident, I stood here on the pulpit condemning that evil act of killing innocent people. All this took place after the 22nd, on the 23rd and 24th. By the Friday and 24th, all this was done. Then 7 days later, after that, a claim has appeared that a leaflet on our rack exists with Khalid Masood's name on it and contact details. What a fabrication this is from the beginning to the end. My brothers, when was the last time you've seen a leaflet with a sticker placed on it naming a person and their phone number? These are things we used to do in the 1990s. Things have progressed since then. Look at the quality and the standards of our leaflets. We print everything. Contact details are printed, not placed on a sticker. The claim against us allegedly also stated that they went back into the archives of our website because they couldn't find it online. And they found a number of extremist sermons and claims which we'll cover shortly. I asked them, if you had that ability to go through our archives, why did you not go through the archive page of our contact page and look for Khalid Masood's name there? But no mention of that was there. They didn't choose to look into the contact pages. They just choose to look to find where they can cut and paste and make us look very, very violent and extreme. My brothers in Islam, my sisters in Islam, they gave another set of maybe 2 or 3 or 4 other claims against this masjid and what we preach and what we call to. From them, they stated in the headlines of a paper that the masjid calls to arms, to fight Christians. And then, in inverted commas, Westminster Jihadi had key role in a mosque, that urges Muslims to take up arms against Jews and other enemies of Islam. What do you think the non-Muslims who read this will think of you and me? What will they think of Islam? It's a duty upon all of you, my brothers, to refute this, not just me, and show how false this claim is. Our masjid here is known for refuting the takfiri methodology and the jihadists. In my khutbah last week, or in the khutbah directly after the attack, I called for the Muslims to respect the rights of all citizens in the UK. I spoke about the oath and the agreement that we have with our fellow citizens and the authority of the government of this land. I mentioned how it was an obligation to follow the law of this land. All these 3 things were mentioned, yet they still want to say that we call to arms against the Jews and the Christians of this country. This masjid, my brothers, has invited Christian clergymen here, standing here, lecturing the community about what Christianity stands for. This masjid, my brothers, has called the Luton Council of Faith to come to this masjid. And we had every single faith representative here. Even the Jewish minorities, they were here also. And they also spoke. We even had people here who had no religion, and they came to this masjid. We fed them. We honored them. We gave them their rights. If they want to say about our masjid that we are calling the Muslims to take up arms against the Jews and the Christians. This masjid, my brothers, our community took 70 children, or over 70 children, to go and visit a church in Luton, to visit a synagogue in Luton, to visit a temple in Luton. Does this sound like people who do not want to integrate with a wider society, who want to kill people of other faith? We took these same children to the Houses of Parliament to learn about democracy, even though we disagree with the idea of democracy. But we still have to learn it, and we have to live with it, because we reside in this country, and this is the law of this land. We've written, my brothers, over 8 leaflets, refuting jihadists and takfiris, those people who call for arms to kill people on the streets. And we've done this work back in 2008. We disputed tens and thousands of them up and down the country. Does this sound like a people who want to call the Muslims to rise up in arms against the Jews and Christians of this country? We published and distributed books refuting al-Muhajirun, Anwar al-Awlaki, Abu Qatada, and Abu Hamza al-Misri. The 4 of the infamous people who preach and call to violence and call to disunity. Who were the ones who removed al-Muhajirun off the streets when no other Muslims in this town would raise a finger? It was us. And we say that proudly, because they were the ones causing racial tension, religious tension. They were the ones calling to segregation. Everything which Islam is opposite to, they were calling to this. We've had a numerous number of debates with Abu Hamza al-Misri himself and Abu Qatada themselves, and Umar Bakri, the ex-head of al-Muhajirun. Which masjid in Luton held a conference where over 2,000 people attended over 3 days, and the title of that conference was exposing the false khilafah of ISIS. This was us. Yet the media have the audacity to claim that we are calling the Muslims to arms against the Jews and the Christians of this country. How diabolical can you get? How worse can it get than that? أقول لقولي هذا يا رب أقول لقولي هذا أستغفر لي ولكم ولسائر المسلمين. الحمد لله الحمد لله رب العالمين الصلاة والسلام على رسول الكريم أما بعد. My brothers and sisters in Islam, they went as far as quoting a verse in the Quran and quoting words from an article on our website which explained a verse. The verse says, "Make ready steeds of war, i.e. weapons, to threaten the enemies of Allah." We ask Allah that He grants us the ability to pursue the proper means of gaining victory over the Jews and over the rest of the enemies of Islam. They said this was a sermon given by me. Number one, that's a lie. I never gave this sermon. There is no such sermon of this kind. Rather, there is an article written by Abu Salih, Muhammad Zarqani al-Maghribi, and it was entitled The Path to Victory over the Transgressing Enemies, which was on our website. Now, how can we say, because it's on our website, that you attribute these words to us, as if we said this, as if we are calling for this? It's wrong to suggest that the views and beliefs of other people, like the one who wrote this article, is our view and our opinion. Ask us and we'll tell you our view, we'll tell you our opinion. Only a few years ago, the then Director of Education, the Minister of Education, Michael Grove, he distributed the King James Bible in every school, or in many schools in the UK, and he insisted that it gets taught there. In that Bible, we find in Deuteronomy 7:2, and when the Lord, your God, has delivered them over to you, and you have defeated them, then you must destroy them totally. Make no treaty with them, and show them no mercy. In Deuteronomy 2:34 it also says. So we captured all his cities at the time, and utterly destroyed the men, the women, and the children of every city, and we left no survivor. And for us to say that this is the opinion of Michael Grove would be injustice, right? And that's why we don't say such things. But as for them, when somebody else writes something on our website, they're quick to say, this is your opinion, your belief. They also claimed that I attacked the Jews and Christians for their greed, jealousy, and fornication. Nowhere did I attack. These are the words of the journalist who wrote this. These are not my words. Furthermore, I have even condemned Muslims for exactly the same crimes of greed, jealousy, and fornication. Why did they not take that along with this? Or did they just want to take out what I said about the Jews and the Christians only to make me look in a bad light? A smear campaign, as I mentioned earlier. Why did they pick and choose the words that they know the non-Muslim society will be offended by? It's only because they want to put out, or try to put out, the light of Islam. But they will fail. This is a cut and paste misrepresentation of all that my khutbahs and all my sermons that I made. My brothers, this masjid had 2 or 3 open days from what I can remember in the last 2 years, where we invited Christians to come and learn about Islam and Muslims. We fed them, we spoke to them with kindness, to suggest that we hate them to the degree we want to fight them and kill them and murder them. This is absolute lie and fabrication. This masjid holds a soup kitchen at the end of each month, feeding the homeless. 95% of the homeless are all non-Muslims. Come on. My brothers, Islam is a religion of tolerance. Islam is a religion that can coincide with other religions and non-religions. We saw this in the time of the Prophet ﷺ in Medina. In Medina there was a charter called the Charter of Medina, the agreement, the oath of all the parties of Medina. The Jews were party to this and signed. The Christians were party to this and signed. The Muslims were party to this and they signed. And they lived together. Whilst they were living together, the Muslims had the upper hand then. The Muslims were the authority then. The Sharia was the law then. Did the Muslims ever say to the Christians and the Jews, you must follow everything we do? You must celebrate Eid with us? You must fast in Ramadan, or when we don't eat, you're not allowed to eat? Did the Muslims ever, put them in such an awful situation? Never. We lived with them. Rather, the Prophet ﷺ allowed the Muslim males to marry them. How can you hate your wife, want to kill your wife and your own children? I don't know what to say, how to describe such accusations and claims that were made against us when Islam is the religion of tolerance. We are allowed to eat the meat of the people of the book, the Jews and the Christians. Where did this come from? Except they were integrated, living together, giving gifts and food, etc. Once a Jewish woman sent some meat, a meat dish, to the house of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Aisha took the meat and she said to Rasulullah, look what's come. It's come from our Jewish neighbor. Did he say, take it, throw it in the bin, take it, give it back to her? A'udhu billah. Did he say anything like this? He said, say Bismillah and eat it. So this is the religion of tolerance, my brothers. Did we ever, in Medina, did the Muslims ever force the Jews and Christians to dress like them? To look like them? To behave like them? We never forced. Allah said in the Quran, لا إكراها في الدين قد تبين الرشد من الغي. There is no compulsion in religion. There is no compulsion in Islam. The right way has been made clear from the wrong. So whoever wishes to believe, then let him believe. Whoever wishes to disbelieve, then let him disbelieve. Allah said in the Quran, لَسْتَ عَلَيْهِمْ مُسْتَيْطِرٌ. You're not a controller over them. O Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, you're not a controller over them. Your job is إِلَّا بَلَاغُ الْمُبِينَ. It's just to relay a clear message. Whoever wants to believe will believe. Whoever doesn't want to believe, they don't believe. Well, then we go and wage war against them and kill them. A'udhu billah. You see, the far right, the extremists of this country, this is exactly what they believe. That they want to harm the Muslims if they could. But it is the law of this land which is preventing them. So we, my brothers, and I finish on this, we have a duty to represent Islam in a good light, in the light of its true teachings. And when you hear these slurs and lies against the masjid, the dawah, and all that we stand for, then be upright. Don't be cowardice. Be upright, be brave, and defend. And explain the truth as it is. And you will find most people will understand that the media is sensational. It just wants to sell papers, and themselves, some of them have right-wing views. We ask Allah Jalla wa'ala to protect Islam and the Muslims. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to clarify the haqq from the batil. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to give us the tawfiq to remain steadfast upon this religion, upon the way we have chosen to follow, the way of the Quran and the Sunnah, upon the understanding of the Sahaba. And we will not be put off by the likes of those who sell their religion, who sell Islam for a miserable price, like the Quillian Foundation. May Allah guide them and fix them. أقول لقولي هذا أستغفر لي ولكم ولسائر المسلمين وأقيم الصلاة.